rich, middle-aged man goes to withdraw money from an ATM, but strangely, the machine asks if he wants to start a deal. He agrees, and a bizarre luxury car appears, taking him to a mysterious place called the Financial District. There, a man named Mikuni rules the area. He is introduced while sipping wine as the main opponent for today's deal. The two men summon strange creatures using cards to battle in the deal. The middle-aged man fights hard to win money, but Mikuni easily defeats him. After losing, the man tragically takes his own life by jumping in front of a train. Meanwhile, the protagonist Kimimaro is a poor student working part-time. He receives study notes from a classmate he likes. He's disappointed to learn she already has a boyfriend. That night, a strange light appears in his room, and a pink-haired man named Masaki introduces himself as an HR rep from Midas Bank. Kimimaro thinks it's a scam and rejects the offer. Masaki suddenly appears inside his room. Time stops, and he explains Kimimaro has been selected for a job in the financial district. Masaki knows all of Kimimaro's details and says the job is easy and highly rewarding. He promises instant wealth, but Kimimaro refuses the offer when he learns it requires putting his future at risk. Kimimaro, though not rich or smart, refuses to sell his future for money. The next day, Kimimaro finds 500,000 yen in his account, seemingly from nowhere. He's confused and can't focus, but coworkers suggest using the money anyway. He withdraws cash to ask Hanabi out, but Masaki appears again. Masaki tries to lure him again with promises of love and finding his father. Kimimaro is given a card that hypnotizes him when he touches it. He wakes up in a weird taxi that takes him to Midas Bank Plaza in the financial district. He sees people with strange creatures called assets, representing their future, used for battles. Masaki explains the weekly battles called deals, and how every entrepreneur must join. Mikuni bets that Kimimaro, a noob, will fail his first deal. Kimimaro is thrown into a deal and summons his asset, a cute girl named Miss Yu. Disappointed at first, he underestimates her, and she punches him. The battle begins. Kimimaro's opponent attacks fiercely, and Miss Yu is hurt, protecting him. Kimimaro doesn't understand what's happening, and Miss Yu warns him about money loss with each hit. Instead of fighting, he worries about Miss Yu's injuries, earning another slap from her. Mikuni and other businessmen watch the match. Miss Yu's wounds start healing mysteriously. Kimimaro calms down and asks Miss Yu to teach him to fight, but they're discovered again. Miss Yu protects Kimimaro again and is crushed by a giant metal ball. Kimimaro decides to fight and invests 1 million yen into Misu using his card. Empowered, Misu defeats the enemy. Everyone is shocked by Kimimaro's unexpected win. Despite being clueless, Kimimaro wins and his account balance triples. Knowing MCU is safe, he faints from exhaustion. He wakes up in his room thinking it was a dream, but Masaki returns. Masaki says they'll come back next week and warns about the consequences of bankruptcy. He teaches Kimimaro how to talk to MCU via her card. Kimimaro checks on her well-being. Mizu is surprised that he cares about her, despite her being just an asset. Later that day, Kimimaro checks his account and is shocked to see 33.5 million yen. He becomes so nervous he can't concentrate in class. Hanabi notices his strange behavior. Mikuni orders an investigation into Kimimaro's background. Kimimaro starts seeing black yen from Midas Bank. Others still see normal yen. He asks Misu what happens if he uses the black money, but she doesn't know. He tries to avoid using it, but that causes trouble with a thug customer. Mikuni appears in disguise, helps him out, and Kimimaro thanks him with a can of coffee. Hearing about the black money, Kimimaro realizes Mikuni is also from the financial district. Mikuni admits he watched Kimimaro's fight and explains how Midas money works. Kimimaro says Masaki told him his future was collateral. Mikuni says that's normal there. During the conversation, Mikuni hints he knew Kimimaro's missing father. He introduces himself as Mikuni Shiro and offers future help before leaving. A mysterious blonde girl watches their meeting through a security camera. Her name is Sato, a secret investigator looking into the financial district's purpose. She's a cop investigating this illegal financial organization. She's entered the district 51 times, 11 of them in battle. She's still a trainee entrepreneur, but skilled and dangerous, the only successful infiltrator. She has a weekly deal every Wednesday. With her giant white wolf asset, she avoids bankruptcy at all costs. Sato and her organization see Mikuni as their main target, because Mikuni has huge influence over governments and global financial institutions. He even formed a powerful alliance and wants to bring Midas money into the real world. Mikuni is a mysterious and dangerous figure. The next day, Kimimaro visits his aunt Kyuko for the first time since high school. He hopes to ask her about his missing father. Some objects related to stock shares were found among the belongings. After examining the items left behind by his missing father, Kimimaro was shocked to discover a notebook with the symbol of Midas Bank inside. When he flipped to the last page of the notebook, he was completely stunned. Kimimaro immediately asked Mizu how to meet the pink-haired clown Masaki. She told him that Masaki might be at Midas Bank. Mizu also noticed that Kimimaro's face was showing strange and frightening signs. Upon returning to the financial financial district, Kimimaro met Masaki. The moment he saw the pink-haired clown, he rushed over to ask everything about the notebook his father had left behind. No matter how much Kimimaro pressed, Masaki refused to reveal any information about his father. Kimimaro believed he was chosen to be an entrepreneur in the financial district because of the notebook, but Masaki said it was purely a coincidence. At that moment, Mikuni suddenly appeared behind Kimimaro. He arrived for a private matter involving Kimimaro. Then Mikuni surprisingly brought him to meet a man named Taketazaki-santen. This was so Kimimaro could directly ask about his father. To Kimimaro's surprise, Taketazaki knew about yoga, Kimimaro's father. When asked what he was to yoga, Kimimaro honestly replied that he was his son. After a few suggestive glances exchanged with Mikuni behind the scenes, Taketazaki was swiped 100,000 Midas as a service fee by Mikuni. Only then did he reveal information about yoga. Truly, money isn't everything, but without money, one is blind to information. Taketazaki explained that yoga, Kimimaro's missing father, was once a powerful player in the financial district. He was addicted to deals and was very good at them, but he couldn't avoid a heavy defeat. That defeat led to immediate bankruptcy. Bankruptcy meant wasting one's future. As a result, he was no longer allowed to speak with family, friends, or anyone else. In the end, Kimimaro's father took his own life. His body was unidentifiable, so authorities had to temporarily shelve the suicide case. Kimimaro wanted to learn more about his father's personality. Taketazaki explained that yoga had an extreme obsession with money. Even a few coins mattered to him. He worked relentlessly to earn more. Because of this, people in the financial district nicknamed Yoga the Miser. Taketazaki added an important detail. Since Kimimaro is Yoga's son, he may inherit his father's luck in deals, but he must be careful not to repeat his father's tragic fate. After the conversation with Taketazaki, Kimimaro felt heavy-hearted. He was disappointed and blamed his father for choosing a strange life for money. He felt abandoned, both he and his poor mother. However, Mikuni disagreed. He believed that Kimimaro's father was just trying to earn more money to give his wife and son a better life. Mikuni advised Kimimaro to define his own reason for making money. Even if he wanted to start over, he couldn't do anything without money. That's why Kimimaro needed to continue fighting deal. Earn money. Use it for something meaningful. Saving money might bring personal joy, but it wouldn't change the world around him. After a long lecture from Mikuni, Kimimaro felt completely hollow inside. He broke down, crying. Meanwhile, Sato was still secretly watching Mikuni's activities that day. She reported everything back to her organization. However, she had a conflict with her superiors. Sato truly wanted to stop the use of Midas money in the real world, but her boss believed preventing that would cause serious consequences. A few days later, the mysterious black taxi returned to pick up Kimimaro. It took him to the financial district for this week's compulsory deal. What shocked him this time was that his opponent was his university professor, Ibarra. It turns out Ibarra had joined the financial district almost a year ago. He joined to earn extra income for his family. From what Kimimaro knew, Ibarra was about to welcome his third child. Despite the surprise pregnancy, the family didn't seem to face financial pressure. They lived comfortably, thanks to Ibarra's side income from winning deals. Back in the present battle, Kimimaro was unsure how to fight his own teacher, but Ibarra didn't hesitate. He made the first move. Usually polite and elegant in class, Ibarra now showed a ruthless side. Money really does ruin teacher-student relationships. Ibarra immediately ordered his asset to poison Kimimaro. The attack caused Kimimaro great pain and financial loss. Then Ibarra launched his final move to end the battle quickly. But just in time, Misayu rushed to Kimimaro. She told him to sell one of her 10 stocks. Mikuni, watching from outside, immediately bought it for 50 million yen. Thanks to this, Kimimaro had enough funds to invest in Misayu. She then launched a mid-tier attack and completely defeated Ibarra. Ibarra underestimated the rookie Kimimaro, but was shocked when he lost, and then Masaki expelled him from the financial district. After the deal, Kimimaro learns from Misayu about how stock selling works in their system, and thanks Mikuni for earlier help, who says he invested simply for company profit. Kimimaro asks an old driver about the consequences of losing and bankruptcy in the financial district, but finds the answers vague and feels foolish. At the guild headquarters, Mikuni is informed the guild controls about 1/3 of the financial district and could control most if it reaches 50%. Mikuni's goal is to change and end the current financial district system and to recruit Kimimaro into the guild alliance. The next morning, Kimimaro worries about his teacher Ibarra, who teaches normally despite recent events. Ibarra invites Kimimaro to his house for a serious talk after class. Kimimaro learns that after Ibarra lost in the financial district, his 3 children vanished from reality, and no one but Kimimaro and Ibarra remember them. Ibarra does not blame Kimimaro for winning because losing would have damaged Kimimaro's life. He regrets not understanding the risks of using the future as collateral. Ibarra explains the guild was created to lessen the financial district's impact on the real world, protecting losers from full bankruptcy, but preventing profits from winning. Ibarra Obara warns Kimimaro never to lose a deal because he's the only one who remembers his lost children, making Kimimaro feel emotionally burdened. The next day, Mikuni prepares for an important deal against Kikuchi and asks Kimimaro to observe and learn. The battle between two high-level players attracts a lot of attention due to its intensity. Mikuni asks Kikuchi if he wants to join the guild, but Kikuchi ignores him and the match begins. Kikuchi controls an asset that creates defensive glass panels and launches attacks, rapidly depleting Mikuni's funds. Observers note Kikuchi won't profit if the situation continues due to high operational costs. Kikuchi sells his asset stocks to wealthy businessmen, gaining an advantage and overwhelming Mikuni financially. With 20 seconds left, Mikuni activates a powerful skill summoning two assets that destroy Kikuchi's core. Mikuni uses his final move to defeat Kikuchi, who loses but likely faces little real-world consequences. And watching this, Kimimaro realizes he needs great power like Mikuni's to fully control deal outcomes and avoid harming others. Mikuni teaches Kimimaro how to control deal outcomes by winning without gaining too much profit and by accurately assessing both himself and his opponent, focusing especially on the EX factor. Kimimaro tries to practice this control with his EX partner M-Shu, but lack of coordination causes them to lose, and M-Shu is injured. Mikuni collects deal fees and proposes buying national debt to help Japan's budget deficit, showing his kindness and wealth. Despite a small loss, Kimimaro worries about his loved ones and checks on Kikuko, who is recovering from appendix surgery. And Kimimaro visits Hanabi at school, who is fine and preparing for an internship. Kimimaro only fails one subject after the loss, which somewhat relieves him. Sato shares financial district info with her superior. Kimimaro relaxes at home, but worries about M-Shu, who is upset about the lack of communication. M-Shu scolds Kimimaro for not informing her about the deal strategy. They share a moment eating noodles, which symbolizes happiness. Kikuchi loses but continues to fight. His old tactics are countered by a new opponent, Seiwa, who defeats him and causes Kikuchi's bankruptcy. Kikuchi is arrested for corruption and his company collapses, causing major damage to employees' futures. Obara explains the serious real-world consequences of deal losses, including the disappearance of his wife and children. Taketazaki offers Kimimaro hot info about the Basu company for 1 million yen. Kimimaro agrees and suddenly becomes wealthy. Taketazaki reveals Mikuni's company will buy Basu to reduce real-world deal impact. Mikuni explains the guild alliance's purpose: to balance the financial district's influence on reality by controlling mouse money. Kimimaro officially joins the guild despite some members' doubt. Mikuni teases Kimimaro and his EX partner playfully. Sato argues with her boss about stopping the financial district and mouse currency while monitoring a strong player, Sen Noza. Sen Noza has a stellar record and is set to face Kimimaro in an upcoming deal. Sen Noza appears, flirts with M-Shu, and asks Kimimaro to discuss the upcoming match. Sen Noza tries to convince Kimimaro to forfeit the match for a large payout, arguing that even balanced matches affect reality negatively. Sen Noza gives Kimimaro time to consider and provides his contact info before disappearing. Kimimaro researches Sen Noza and learns he is a respected charity figure known as the Charity Prince. Sato kidnaps Kimimaro to protect Kuko, revealing herself as a financial district spy and player. Sato tells Kimimaro Mikuni's method is temporary and dangerous long-term. She wants to destroy the financial district system entirely. Sato notices they are being followed. Kimimaro summons a mysterious taxi driver to help them escape. Sato advises Kimimaro to meet Senza, another player wanting to end the district's influence. Despite confusion, Kimimaro decides to meet Senza, who also opposes Mikuni's guild. Mikuni tries to convince Kimimaro not to listen to Sato and Senza. The future is only for the strong, while those struggling must focus on the present. Mikuni reveals he is the only one to have beaten Sen Noza, and that Sen Noza never experienced poverty or the harsh reality of money. Mikuni advises Kimimaro that only by fighting and winning can he survive in this harsh world. Despite doubts, Kimimaro decides to fight Senza. Senza fights fiercely, and M-Shu protects Kimimaro, but is seriously injured. Kimimaro realizes he just wants to protect what belongs to him, not just win or lose. Kimimaro and M-Shu launch powerful attacks and defeat Senza, causing real-world damage to Sen Noza and Siv. The next day, Sen Noza is packing to leave, optimistic about Kimimaro's potential to overturn the financial district. He asks Kimimaro to deliver noodles as an apology to M-Shu for injuring her. The story flashes back to Mikuni's university days, when his father forced him into business, teaching him the brutal power of money. Mikuni becomes his father's secretary, gives up his music passion, and follows his father's orders, who controls networks using money's power. Mikuni's younger sister, Takako, is very ill and bedridden. Mikuni loves and wants to protect her, working hard to pay for her treatment. Yet, Takako's condition worsens. American treatment is the last hope. Mikuni pleads with his father to send her abroad. Mikuni's father refuses, prioritizing business over Takako's life, causing Mikuni to reject him and decide to earn money himself. Mikuni is locked away, helpless, until finally released when Takako's health is critical. Takako refuses to leave Japan, wanting to spend more time with Mikuni. She dies peacefully that night. Masaki, a pink-haired man, invites Mikuni to join the financial district. Mikuni accepts, seeing it as a way to protect people like himself and his sister. Mikuni founds the Gun Alliance. After beating Senza, Kimimaro and M. Shu grow closer. M. Shu shares her thoughts, and Kimimaro better understands her. While eating noodles, Kimimaro meets Fatty, his first opponent, and discusses the secret link between businessmen and their asset. Nearby, a businessman bullies a female EX. Kimimaro initially avoids conflict, but returns to defend her, getting injured in the process, which impresses M. Shu. Back home, watching a romantic movie, M. Shu becomes curious about kissing. Kimimaro explains it's an expression of love. M. Shu wants to try, but Kimimaro declines, saying true love is needed. M. Shu realizes she loves Kimimaro. On a taxi ride, Kimimaro senses changes in the real world. The driver dismisses it as imagination. Mikuni's Gun Alliance watches Southeast Asia's financial decline, fearing collapse similar to the Caribbean Republic's disappearance after North American financial districts fell. Mikuni launches Plan C to prevent disaster. Streets empty from economic depression. Sato meets Taketazaki to trade a secret chip, learns there's a traitor in Mikuni's alliance linked to Kimimaro's EX and his dead father. Sato rejects the news and walks away. Kimimaro notices classmates acting strangely, recalling Sato's warnings about a grim future. Kimimaro finds teacher Ibarra on a rooftop, learns Ibarra has sacrificed everything trying to save his family and plans to sacrifice his life. Kimimaro stops him, promising to find a way to save the future. Kimimaro meets Masaki, asking for help to redeem Ibarra's children, offering much money. Masaki refuses, saying the future cannot be bought. Kimimaro returns disappointed. Mikuni's alliance scrambles to stop Southeast Asia's financial collapse. After failing with Masaki, Kimimaro visits Ibarra's home, but finds him gone. Learning from school, Kimimaro finds out Ibarra died in a car accident caused by a drunk driver. Kimimaro is devastated by the loss. The main character sits alone in the park, realizing the world is about to collapse. Hanabi, usually cheerful, is depressed, cutting up loving letters from students until exhausted and emotionless. Kimimaro, frustrated, withdraws all his money and goes to the financial district, falling asleep in a familiar car. In a dream, Kimimaro sees a newborn girl named M. Shu in her parents' arms. Upon waking, Kimimaro burns all his money with M. Shu's support, deciding trust is more important than money. Sato tells Kimimaro the financial district is near collapse, and money can always be reproduced. Kimimaro argues with Mikuni about sacrificing the future to save the present. Mikuni insists the present creates the future. A financial collapse destroys Singapore, turning everything to dust. Mikuni's alliance rushes to implement emergency plans to prevent further collapse. In a secret meeting, global leaders discuss the crisis and its domino effect on financial systems. Mikuni uses a special card to print massive money by mortgaging 20 years of his future to save banks. Chaos erupts worldwide as Singapore vanishes. The financial crisis spreads to Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Japan. Mikuni and allies try to reduce damage in Japan, but the Tokyo stock market falls sharp. Mikuni and Gil intervene by buying mouse money, stabilizing Japan's market temporarily. Masaki demands Mikuni repay the future year's mortgage to print money. Sato warned Kimimaro that injecting so much black money will cost Japan a decade of future prosperity. Sato reveals someone named Taketazaki holds information about Kimimaro's father's ex. Kimimaro pays Taket to see a photo revealing M. Shu looks like his father's ex. The ex has black hair and a different name, Mua, who disappeared after Kimimaro's father went bankrupt. Taket suggests the similarity between the two exes reflects the connection between Kimimaro and his father. Sato disagrees, seeing the similarity as a symbol of the father-son relationship and shared goals. Despite his flaws, Kimimaro's father cared deeply for him, proven by Kimimaro's survival after his father's financial ruin. Sato gives M. Shu noodles and tells her to remember Kimimaro's scent. Kimimaro witnesses negative consequences of Mikuni's rescue plan, starting with Hanabi's decline and school absence. Kimimaro finds Hanabi apathetic and pale but alive. Suddenly, Kimimaro experiences a shift where bustling areas become desolate, with people disappearing. Returning to Hanabi, her condition worsens. She forgets her own name, and the city turns ominously red. Even Mikuni is shocked by the destructive impact of his decisions on Japan. Determined, Kimimaro teams up with spy Sato to fight for Japan's future. Kimimaro promises M. Shu a normal, happy future, but she prefers to stay in EX to fight alongside. M. Shu has fallen in love with Kimimaro, who kisses her on the cheek. Japan's situation worsens. Very few children are born, and the population ages breaches rapidly. The US financial market trembles. World currencies fall under pressure from the US dollar's intervention. The US deliberately triggers the sea chain reaction to control global currency, which will hit Japan again. And Mikuni decides to print more money by mortgaging another 20 years of his future, despite knowing the risks. Kimimaro, Sato, and Taketsaki create a plan to stop Mikuni's reckless printing. Only Mikuni has the DNIS card to activate the money printer. They plan to fight and bankrupt him, seize the card, and stop the printing. Take-It will use a traitor to steal a huge amount of black money and distribute it to the people, devaluing the yen. This would make Mikuni's assets worthless and allow Kimimaro or Sato to defeat him in a final battle and reclaim the lost future. Mikuni refuses to fight initially, but Masaki warns he will lose half his assets and control if he backs out. Mikuni is forced to accept the fight against Sato. As Kimimaro enters the financial district, a guild member named Hori challenges him. Noticing M. Shu acting strangely, Kimimaro learns that when the mouse money printer runs, the Ixes suffer pain because they represent the future. He decides to let M. Shu rest and fight Hori alone. Without M. Shu, Kimimaro struggles, but manages to injure Hori, then calls M. Shu to help finish the fight by unleashing a powerful firestorm to defeat Hori. Meanwhile, Sato takes control of Mikuni's ex-Kazu, but is quickly defeated by Mikuni. Before leaving, Sato transfers her EX to Kimimaro to aid their plan. Outside, Taketsaki spreads rumors of hyperinflation to further devalue the yen. Mikuni orders more money printing, willing to sacrifice his future despite Kimimaro's protests. Kimimaro tries to stop Mikuni but is knocked down. Masaki reminds him that Kimimaro's own card has turned into a DNIS card, enabling him to restart the money printer and face Mikuni one-on-one. Chaos escalates in the real world with hyperinflation. Kimimaro officially battles Mikuni using an EX clone technique, but it fails as Mikuni quickly defeats both Kimimaro and his clone. Kimimaro calls M. Shu for help. Mikuni uses Kazu's final move to control M. Shu, but both are frozen by Kazu's attack before the firestorm ends. Mikuni's finishing attack suddenly fails because Japan's Ministry of Finance suspends yen circulation, causing mouse money to lose value and weakening Mikuni. Kimimaro seizes the moment, commands M. Shu to hold Kazu, and lands a decisive blow on Mikuni, who recalls painful memories and loses his will to fight. Masaki announces that yen and mouse money devaluation has helped Japan escape the crisis, validating Kimimaro's view. Mikuni admits defeat, giving control to Kimimaro, who stops the money printer and buys back all mortgaged futures, collapsing the financial empire. MCU bids Kimimaro a passionate goodbye. Mikuni apologizes and chooses to disappear. Outside, Sato celebrates the successful plan, while Taketsaki and others move on. Kimimaro sees the real world changed but alive, with a bright future ahead. The movie ends with no sequel plan. Thanks for watching.